Welcome back, everyone, to the LEC studio. What a fantastic little interview there, because Schalke 04 and Mad Lions, they're up next, and they're featuring a classic matchup from the TCL between Armut and Broken Blade. So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into their history and their rivalry, and for that, we have a caster from the Turkish league, the TCL, Kursad here. Merhaba, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. We also obviously love the TCL broadcasts, and we know how passionate your fans are. So can you tell me a bit more specifically, maybe first about Armut, who has spent his entire career in the TCL and now has finally found his way to the LEC? What were kind of the highlights of his time in the TCL so far?
So first of all, thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about my boys, Armut and Broken Blade from TCL. So Armut started his pro career in 2014. He only played for a single game. He was playing mid lane and he was playing Zerat. And after that, it was over. But he came back in 2016. And actually in the VTR before, he mentioned that tournament. He was playing in the TCS Challenger Series. And he was able to promote his team to TCL. And for a couple of years, he was playing for a middle-of-the-pack team. He was growing, he was learning, but 2019 was his big breakthrough. He got signed by Royal Youth, and they formed quite a competitive roster with Closer, with Armut, Pilot, GBM, Dumbledore. And they managed to be the champions in 2019 Summer Split Finals, and that also meant Worlds qualifiers. Armut showcased his talents there. And in 2020, Supermassive signed Armut, and Armut once again became the champions with them. In 2 consecutive years, he was Summer Split champions, and he also managed to compete in Worlds qualifiers again. And you might remember the series against Mad Lions. He was the star of it. And Armut has a thing for silver scrapes. In 2019, 2020, and also against Mad Lions, the series ended up 3-2. So I'm not sure whether he's going to keep his form in LEC, but we're going to have to see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'd love to see a silver scrapes when he gets to those best of fives. Now over to the competitor, and I gather that they're also friends. Of course, Broken Blade had a different trajectory. Started his career for most of the time in the TCL, then got picked up by TSM, which was such a big move, and now he finds himself in Schalke. What do you think he will bring to the LEC?
So Broken Blade, he started to play in 2016 as well, as I mentioned in the TCS. But he had his breakthrough in 2018, and with the same team, Royal Youth, they signed him. But Broken Blade was never the champions in Turkey. Unfortunately, he was the runner-up in both of the splits in 2018. But then he got transferred by TSM, and I have to admit that I was kind of surprised because TSM is such a big name, and Broken Blade was basically a no-name back then. But he showed that he can take the pressure and he can perform on it. And as you know, TSM is such a big brand and they have so many passionate fans. You can't play bad, basically. But Armut, within the big names such as Bjorksen and Doublelift, not Armut, Broken Blade, sorry, he showcased his talents, and he was the star of many of their games. So I think that was great vision from TSM to sign Broken Blade, and now he's coming back to LEC. So what can you expect from Broken Blade in LEC? First of all, flashy plays, and you've seen some of those, and highlight reels. You're gonna have some fun because he's such a funny guy, Broken Blade.
Yeah.
And lastly, he's bringing experience. As I said, playing in LCS, playing in Worlds, playing with big names. He has this experience, and I think that's gonna help Schalke 04 quite a bit.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Thank you for that breakdown. Of course, it isn't easy to start on TSM and then, of course, get the community on you immediately, but he got through that. Now, we almost have to finish off here. I have a little less time than I anticipated, so I'm going to merge the questions that we prepared in one. Talking about their rivalry, which we heard themselves talk about already. How do you think their rivalry is going to translate into the match we're about to see? What are your predictions, and what do you think the community reaction is going to be to these two TCL players matching up versus each other?
I mean, Turkish community loves every second of it because we're gonna get to see Armut versus Broken Blade, our own boys, and we're gonna enjoy it. I think Armut has the higher skill ceiling, so he has the potential to be the better player. But if you look at things right now, I think Broken Blade is the better player with his experience in TSM and with his team. I think he is better right now, and I think that's also going to translate to the upcoming game, and Schalke 04 is going to win this one.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Kursad, for talking to us. We'll be looking forward to that matchup, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon. Good luck over there.
Thank you.
No problem. We'll be sure to keep our eyes on the top lane as Schalke and Mad Lions face off in Game 3.